Oh, and we are live on a Tuesday morning, November 30, 2021 at 7:30 in the morning Pacific time. Oh, this is coming to you live from beautiful downtown Crestline in the San Bernardino Mountains of Southern California's Inland Empire. Um, It's a kind of a dreary morning, a little foggy, a little hazy. The sky is overcast. It's cold. Well, folks, I just took out a loan to pay my winter heating bill. Uh, Last month and the month before, friends helped me pay it. Um, it's ridiculous. Prices have been going up, and come January, the middle of winter here, they're going to go up even more, as much as a third. Hello, Howard. Let's see. Uh, There, got my cursor into the box and typed hi, Howard. Oh, Lordy. I'm a little early this morning. I might make a habit of it because I get a better internet connection early in the morning before thousands of people wake up, have their breakfast, and get on the internet. The more people are using it, the less stable my connection is. Mm. Oh, I forgot to close the kitchen windows, so we have incredible glare coming in. Oh well. Um, phew. Let's go close those curtains. It does help. Dum de dum. Dum de dum de dum. Hi, Catman. Dum de dum. Dum de dum de dum. Come on. Up it goes. Up, up. Ah. Okay. Dum de dum. Dum de dum de dum. Dum de dum. Dum de dum de dum. I love Dragnet. All right. That's better. Um, what did I rant about yesterday? Just for a few minutes I came on. And now I don't remember, but it'll come to me. Well, I have more to rant about. I think it was yesterday. Two police officers in Los Angeles were sitting in their patrol car. It was parked, and they were ambushed. Turtles! Oh, yes, thank you, Howard. Facebook really cares whether a tortoise is the oldest land animal or whether it's really some millipede in Scotland. Okay. I guess technically insects are animals, but come on. Who cares? Anyway, today on the news clips, I don't generally watch TV. I get clips on YouTube. Two police officers in Los Angeles were ambushed as they sat in their patrol car, which was parked. One of them is so far they're still alive. A woman in her 30s who has a 6-year-old child. They were a car pulled up alongside them, and a man with a rifle shot both officers in the head. They were able to radio for help, but the crowd of bystanders were taking video on their cell phones and laughing and saying that they hoped these officers would die. And they even tried to stop the ambulance people from taking these wounded people into the hospital for treatment. They followed the ambulance to the hospital and tried to prevent them from getting medical treatment for their wounds. Maybe it's time that, let's see, what can I call it? Bozo, Lido, Metric, you know what I mean. Maybe they just aren't going to be quite so popular. Maybe defunding the police was not a good idea. And further reducing the forces all over the nation because they don't want to get a jab after nearly 2 years of putting their lives on the line. Nurses, teachers, doctors, law enforcement, all kinds of people, truck drivers, warehouse workers, the port authorities, they all worked putting their lives on the line with an epidemic. Oh, hi, Jason. In the chat room. I forgot to allow YouTube to replay the chat on this one. Oh, well. Anyway, all of a sudden they're dangerous because they didn't get a jab. All of us have been exposed to a virus, many viruses, many bacteria throughout our lives. Now, I was okay with 2 weeks to slow the spread so the hospitals would not get overwhelmed. I'm basically a hermit anyway. I don't mind isolating for a short time, but it's been almost 2 years and it looks as if it will stretch out to 3 years and become permanent. I don't make a big deal about the mask. I'll wear it if it's required. But it's pretty useless. It might protect you from me if I'm coughing or sneezing. It'll reduce whatever comes out of my mouth or nose. But it won't help me. What do we do when we're masked up? We keep touching our faces, adjusting the mask to make it more comfortable or make sure it's on correctly. Your hands are where you get most of the germs. You touch things, and then you touch your face. I think frequent hand washing is a good idea. Doctors do it between patients. They scrub up to their elbows with soap and hot water. That is always useful. Oh, hi, Jan. I've decided to try to come on earlier so my internet will be more stable for a longer period of time. I actually took out a loan to pay my bills. Now, ordinarily, I wouldn't qualify for a loan, but I qualified for this one. It's going to be a long, cold winter, and I have to be sure that I can pay the bills, but then I have to be sure that I can make the payments on the loan. But I had to do it for various reasons, not the least of which is that uh, the outside wall of my kitchen, in other words, the outside wall of the house, has so much dry rot and damage from carpenter ants that it has to be ripped out and replaced. And you know what's happened to the price of lumber lately. Plus, there's the cost of labor if you can get anyone to work. Uh, yeah, the world has gone nuts. Totally nuts. But finally, since I'm on Medicare as part of my retirement Social Security, which is terribly insecure, starting in January, I can choose my own doctor. I've had it with this crazy clinic they've been sending me to. I couldn't navigate the um, just the documents alone when I got Social Security, so I had the local hospital set up my plan so that I was covered if I had to go to that hospital. So I get to go to their clinic at the hospital. Um, it's really not working out for me. The doctor can see me for well, I think 3 minutes probably. The physician's assistant has 5 minutes. They require you to get there at least 10 minutes before the time of your appointment, and they don't even see you till at least half an hour after the time of your appointment. Then they take your vitals, your weight, your height, your blood pressure, and all that. And then you wait another half hour before the doctor or the physician's assistant can see you, and they can't spend any more than 5 minutes with you unless there's some life threatening emergency and they have to, do CPR or drag you to the emergency room or something like that. Um, oh, this bumping, I'm putting my foot on the bottom of the little desk here, and it goes bump. I'm having fun with it, but I'm sure it annoys you. So, anyway, I'll choose my own doctor in January. I have one in mind because there's a professional guy in town locally who actually, for free, will help you get the right plan for you, and he is paid by the insurance company. So that'll be great. And they asked me, "Are you vaccinated?" Well, I had one Pfizer shot and I am not going through that again. Apparently, I'm allergic to something in it. Very drastically allergic. Not quite life-threatening, but it might be if I took a second Pfizer shot. So, sorry, not going there. And, my back broke. I've read up on it because the doctor wasn't very, didn't give me much info in 5 minutes. This particular break is quite common in older people, osteoporosis and like that. Thank God the bones are only cracked and not broken. But I can't take pain pills, and it hurts like the dickens. Every opioid or opiate or whatever that I've ever tried makes me vomit, except one that you can't get anymore. Darvon or Darvocet. Apparently, you might get a heart attack if you take it, so they got rid of it, and it was the only one that never made me vomit. I give up. It doesn't do you any good if it doesn't stay down. It's just a toilet with, oh God. Anyway, I was using Aleve, the generic naproxen sodium, but my doctor did tell me, well, the physician's assistant anyway, he did tell me that it's bad for my kidneys. So I went back to ibuprofen, which is like, it's the ingredient in Motrin, which they really push for menstrual cramping, which thank God I don't have anymore. When I was in my late 40s, early 50s, I still had the female cycle, but I didn't have to buy supplies anymore. That was so nice. Anyway, let's see. So we've got two police officers in the hospital with the crowd outside shouting the F word and they hope they die and trying to stop the paramedics from taking them into the emergency room because they were ambushed by cowards. You got to be a coward to just pull up, fire your rifle, and drive away. And you got to be sick. Most police officers are just trying to keep the community safe. That's all. Yeah, there are some bad ones. There's bad people in every profession, and we try to weed them out. And then there's the poor guy, I forget which city, somewhere, in a big city, there was a television crew filming the riot, and they had a security guard, a Japanese American, recently retired police officer who was working as a security guard for the television crew. And some criminals were trying to steal the television crew's equipment. I assume they succeeded because they shot this guy dead, this Japanese American security guard. What has this world come to? I thought guns killed people. Why is it okay for rioters to have guns and shoot people? But if you're just a victim and you have a gun, maybe you're protecting your store, maybe you just got um, caught in the mayhem and happen to have a firearm. Oh, you're evil. because guns kill people. What is going on in this world? And we have no liberty. All these mandates of various sorts are totally unconstitutional. Unfortunately, the military can impose vaccinations, even experimental vaccinations, on the troops. We ought to change that. And there's some discussion about imposing it on federal employees because so many are not subject to the mandate. For example, all the members of Congress, your representatives and your senators, most of them are vaccinated, but they are not mandated. They don't have to take the shot. It's, rules for thee and not for me. Why is it okay for California's Governor Newsom to go to a restaurant with a dozen of his closest friends, unmasked, not distanced, indoors, when every restaurant in the state was shut down and only allowed to do takeout? For a time, they were allowed to serve meals outdoors, and for a time, they couldn't even do that, just takeout. And you'd wait outside the door and they'd bring it to you. You place your order over the phone and come get it. Some restaurants manage to do delivery just to keep afloat, pay their bills, and keep the restaurant going. And Newsom and his pals went to the French Laundry, a very high-class, expensive restaurant. No masks. This was before there was a vaccine. No social distancing, indoors. Ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. And by the way, there was a book. Now let's see, I think I read it in 1970. It was my very first ever ride on an aircraft, a small jet, a puddle hopper from Los Angeles to San Francisco. I was 16 years old, maybe. Yeah, I wasn't quite 17. I bought a paperback book to read. I bought it at the airport. The Andromeda Strain by Michael Crichton. Later, a movie was made from it. I think I saw the movie, but I know I read the book. Now, Crichton is an actual scientist, and the Andromeda strain was a weird, mutated virus that was killing people. But by the end of the novel, it had mutated into something harmless. And that is exactly what we're seeing with this pandemic. Apparently, the Omicron strain is highly contagious, but not deadly. In South Africa, they say nobody's seriously ill with this variant, but it is highly contagious. Well, maybe that's our path to immunity, real immunity, because the vaccine that I had, wish I hadn't, is not a true vaccine. It's a genetically concocted protein that it's been designed. A vaccine, well, technically, a vaccine is when you scratch your arm and daub it with cowpox so that you won't get um, smallpox. You see, vaccine comes from the word vaca, which means cow. But okay, we can apply it to the polio shot, the smallpox shot, the DPT, the MMR, all these vaccinations. We can call them that, but not these crazy things, these genetically modified proteins that are supposed to mimic the spike protein so that your immune system will be alerted and ready to fight an infection. But what concerns me most is what they call adjuvants, other things they stick into the shot. Because one of them had to be what I'm allergic to, and the literature that's available to consumers no longer lists all of those. Even in the list of inactive ingredients, you won't find them. Well, I'm well despite having a broken back. So the doctor referred me to Loma Linda, a very large medical center and teaching hospital. Not for my broken back, for my hip. It's been over a year since I broke my hip and it's bothering me. It's annoying and concerning, but it's my broken back that's killing me. Fortunately, I already had taking it off so I can show you, a back brace. I've had it for years because I used to go to a chiropractor. I was already having trouble with my back. Let's put it back on. Come on. Ah, Velcro. The Velcro is really strong. Come on. And I can adjust it. I put it outside my clothes so I can loosen it or tighten it as I need. And so people know I'm wearing a brace so they don't bump into me, and quite often they hold the door for me. It's hard for me to open a door, and I had to get a friend to take my trash out. Just the kitchen wastebasket was really too heavy for me. And she just picked it up and took it out and popped it in the barrel, no problem. Okay, Jan says, I saw a man called James Tunney speaking on YouTube for an hour on Philip. All right, yes, go ahead and put the link, Jan, so everybody can check it out. Jan has a wrench, so he can post a link. Awesome. Yeah, last week, I think it was Thursday, I was on Cardinal Sin's channel on his Into the Fringe show for 2 hours. Couldn't get my computer to stay on the internet, so I ended up talking through my cell phone without video. But I was there, and someone won a signed copy of one of my books, so I have to get that ready to mail. I gotta turn up the heat a little. I'm cold, but the thermostat's in a funny place. It's not uh, working for me. Let's see. Turn that up. Turn that up. I have a little portable electric fan heater that blows right on me. It helps. It's warm where the thermostat is, but not over here where I am. Let's see what the phone wants. Oh, someone wants to play Words with Friends. No, not right now. Yeah, it's all Words with Friends. I think Tora, the kitty cat, figured out that it's Tuesday, so she's made herself scarce so she won't have to say hi to her adoring fans. I'll catch her another time. Yesterday also, I was watching a YouTube video, and I guess the guy got too far off the plantation because YouTube shut down his video while in the middle of a sentence while he was live and talking. Too much about Biden and Trump and vaccines and so forth. You know, I've seriously considered moving to Texas or even Florida or even Tennessee, Kentucky, somewhere, someplace where it isn't California. We can't do anything. Everywhere you go now, they tell you wear a mask and here's some hand sanitizer and some places you can't go in unless you have your little vaccine passport, your little card that says you got the shot at least 2 times. Now they want you to get a 3rd shot. Like there was a community play, a production of Dracula for Halloween. I couldn't go because I'm not fully vaccinated. Well, I hope that changes. The grocery stores have loosened restrictions. The restaurants want you to wear a mask when you walk in, but once you're seated, you can take it off because you're eating. Some places in other communities insist that every time you take a bite, you put the mask back on and don't take it off till you're ready to take another bite. I can't do that. It's ridiculous. Don't panic. Yes, it's a cause for concern. There's a real virus. Real people have died. Take it seriously. But so far, the death rate is about it's less than 1% of the general population. I forget the exact numbers. Less than 1 in 100. Let's see. I worked it out once, and I looked it up where people smarter than I am worked it out. But we're close to 500,000 dead in the United States, but our population is about 330 million. So it's probably 0.1 or 0.2%. In other words, about 1 in 1,000. More people die from heart attacks, especially now that they're afraid to go to the doctor or the hospital because there's a virus and they don't get treatment for their heart problems. Same for cancer. More people are dying of cancer because they're afraid to get treatment because they might catch a virus. Wake up, people. Oh, Australia? No, in Australia, last I heard, um, they don't let you leave your house. If you try to go out your front door, briefly, come on, you evil thing, you evil computer, you evil internet, and um, let's see. YouTube didn't like what I was saying. I think I'm back on. You know, here, we're Americans. Well, also there's everybody. Let's see. I'm gonna sign off and start a new one. Start a new stream. So go away. YouTube. Well, maybe I can stay. We'll see. If it disconnects again, I will do that. Really,